mysterious Mary Celeste, what became of the disappearing ship? That haunted ship that everyone knows about. As a result of its widespread circulation, some people no longer accept the veracity of the underlying account. You won't believe it, but that event really occurred. The Mary Celeste, which was discovered floating in the ocean on December 5, 1872, with no sign of life on board, is often cited as the prototypical ghost ship. Suggestions as to what became of her crew after she was set adrift and abandoned have persisted for over a century. Mutiny and alien abduction are two of the possibilities. Numerous particulars have been made up or greatly exaggerated by the people spreading these tales. In an effort to increase readership, newspapers began inventing characters and incidents in 1883 that did not actually occur. Realm of fiction. Just what transpired, exactly, is unclear. A ship was spotted by the British ship Dei Gratia on December 5, 1872. Coming closer, they confirmed their suspicions that it was indeed the Mary Celeste, a ship that had failed to reach its final destination of Genoa, Italy. The crew went missing, and a boarding party was dispatched to investigate. Nearly 3 feet of water sloshed around at the keel, navigational charts were strewn about, belongings were still in crew quarters, and one of the ship's pumps had been disassembled. Even though there was a large amount of cargo and supplies on board, including food, water, alcohol, etc., the crew had abandoned ship, and the only lifeboat was also lost. On November 25, 1872, the captain wrote in the ship's log that his vessel had sailed more than 400 nautical miles from its original place 9 days before it was discovered drifting. Despite rumors to the contrary, the evidence on board pointed to a peaceful evacuation. None of the 7 people aboard were able to make it back, including the captain, his wife, and their 2-year-old daughter, but all of their belongings were still on board. Nearly 800 nautical miles later, the Dei Gratia crew arrived in the British port of Gibraltar, where a salvage hearing was held for the Mary Celeste. The crew of the Dei Gratia were compensated for their efforts in rescuing the Mary Celeste 3 months later. Compared to the total insured value of the ship and its cargo, it was relatively small. It's possible the Mary Celeste got lost in the shuffle there. Along comes Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The young writer's first published work was a short story titled J. Habakkuk Jeffson's Statement, which appeared in 1884 under a pseudonym. A first-person account by a Mary Celeste survivor. This fictional account of the ship's final moments was highly sensationalized and relied heavily on creative license. It went so far as to give the ship, its captain, and several of its crew members new names. The story tells of a ship that was discovered in perfect condition, with all of the lifeboats still on board, despite having been through some severe storms. The story went viral, with more copies being distributed than the actual account, and the first seeds of apocryphal legend were planted. As more and more speculation and interpretations were offered, the mystery's narrative drifted further and further from the truth. The mysterious disappearance of the Mary Celeste has been attributed to pirates, mutiny, and even aliens. How the ship will end up? It was estimated that the ship itself would last for another 12 years. Because of the string of negative publicity, she quickly became unpopular to own and operate. The ship was towed to New York by the salvage crew and remained docked there for the rest of 1873. Her loss-making sailed to a partnership in 1874. Even though the new owners ran the ship in the Indian Ocean, she never turned a profit due to her notorious reputation. Nearly every trip was a financial loss for her. The ship's captain became ill and passed away in 1879, furthering the urban legend that she was cursed. Her previous owners sold her to a Boston-based company a year after she was built. During the next 4 years, she would have several different ports of registry and 2 different commanding officers. Despite attempts to change the ship's fortunes, she apparently did not embark on any significant voyages during this time, as evidenced by the records. Her captain, Gilman C. Parker, and a group of dishonest merchant mariners attempted to defraud the Mary Celeste's insurance provider in November 1884. While the actual value of the cargo on board was closer to $30,000, or $800,000 in 2017 dollars, the crew falsified the manifest to make it look like it was worth more. Parker left for Haiti a month later. Parker knowingly crashed the Mary Celeste into a reef off the coast of the port. The ship was destroyed because the keel was torn in two during the collision. In the aftermath of the crew's abandonment, Parker filed a claim for the cargo's inflated value. The insurer looked into the claim and found the overinsured cargo in 1885. Later that year, prosecutors filed charges against Parker and his accomplices for fraud, with Parker also facing charges of barratry, fraud by a ship's captain, which was punishable by death. Despite the fact that Parker's trial ended in a mistrial, his reputation was irreparably damaged. 3 months later, he passed away a broken man. However, the wreck of the Mary Celeste was never found. She ran aground on a reef, and over the next century, the reef grew up and covered the wooden planks. An expedition reported finding human remains in 2001, but their findings have not been verified.